Sup, Nerdmigos, I'm the Jive talking Nerd John Norgrove. We've got Wife here. It is Star Trek Thursday, and celebration shots. We finished season 2.
Woo! A Voyager.
Yes, a Voyager, obviously. It's Star
Yeah.
Trek Thursday. What else is happening? Oh, that's good.
Ooh.
So, we finished season 2. We left you off with episode 18, Death Wish. So we're gonna move on to episode 19. Let me get that. Do you want some Coke?
Why not?
Let me get Netflix open. We can go over this stuff. So, last off, episode 18, Death Wish. We all know about that one. Let's...
Gin and then Coke is a very strange taste combination.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know which I prefer. The aftertaste is like the worst cough syrup I've ever had. Whatever. Yeah, but I don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah? No more gin?
No more Coke after that gin.
Whatever. I'm a heavy drinker. What the fuck do I know? Okay, so let's get into the episodes. Episode 19, Life Science. So the doctor, they find this like Vidian. They're the people with the face that like piece together.
They're like the leprosy people?
They're like Frankenstein people. Well, they're like Frankenstein people. Like they're dying from a disease that rots their organs, like, you know, I mean, vaguely bits falling off like leprosy. But it's mostly, they're mostly characterized by stealing your bits because they want them.
Because they need to harvest new bits.
Yeah. Especially B'Elanna Torres's bits, because like her Klingon blood is like better
Extra good.
or whatever. Yeah. But okay, so the doctor like saves this Vidian lady. So he takes her mind, because she has like a mind probe already in there, I guess. And he is somehow able to connect it to a holoprogram, and he's able to render what she would look like unmutated or whatever. And then the doctor falls super duper in love with her. He takes a lot of not great advice from Tom Paris. I'm gonna be honest with you, don't go to him for love advice. It's a bad move.
If you're gonna go to anybody,
He does get it from Kes also, and Kes gives him some pretty okay love advice. Although Kes is like immediately like, oh, the doctor fancies this lady.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anywho, he falls in love with her, and then like they have to put her brain or whatever back in her body, so they like fix whatever's broken and put her brain back in her body or whatever.
But just before that, he.
Oh, at one point in
his
time, he
feelings
expresses his
for-
love, and she's just
and
like, this is not the time for that.
Tells him that she wants to stay just friends.
Yeah, but then also come to find out she wanted more than to be just friends.
It was
so like
heartbreaking
so like, you know, it is
to
what it is.
see this woman's disembodied visage,
Holographic
disembodied image rip the poor little heart out of our doctor.
Well, again, holographic heart. Really, what we're talking about is two programs falling in love and hating on each other. It's very
I don't
strange.
care.
It's
She can't be mean to our doctor.
But she does actually fall in love with him, but then she has to leave because, you know, Vidians are asshats or whatever. So whatever, they part ways. Yeah, whatever. So then next up is investigations, where Tom Paris is a fucking asshole. Like, first 2/3 of this episode, Tom Paris is just vaguely being a prick. And so they're like, hey, you can fuck off. And he's like, fuck you then, I'm out. Like he like body checks Chipotle and is just like, fuck you, I do what I want. And then so he just joins like a Talaxian frigate and bounces. And they're like, what the fuck is going on? And then come to find out, it's all part of some sort of an elaborate ruse.
Tom Paris, space spy.
Yeah, he's a space spy, 00 Paris over here. Double OP. So he, you know, they, whatever spy thing spies, and then he returns to the ship and everything's back to normal. There's a lot of everything's back to normal at the end of some very intense shit. Like, literally the end of this episode is like Janeway and Paris and Tuvok in Janeway's ready room, and like Chakotay's standing over there fucking clearly fuming, and Janeway's like, listen, we decided not to let you in on it, so that way you acted the most real, so the crew bought the plan, and this was Tuvok's idea, and Tuvok's like, it's only logical, and fucking Chipotle is just like, I guess?
Yeah.
I guess I'm okay with that? Please next time inform me? I'm gonna go sit down somewhere. Like, he is just fucking blindsided in the meanest way humanly possible. That's fine. Chipotle gets his in the end. So after that is Deadlock, where they take a detour through some space nonsense, and the ship gets split into 2 ships, but they're sharing one antimatter capacity thing.
It's not important.
Because antimatter can't be spatially scissioned or science words.
It's not important.
So after a bunch of techno babble, the one ship that got like super fucked up, like it's all attacked and blown up and shit, that Janeway is like, I'm gonna blow up my ship so the good ship can get it. But then the Vidians show up, because they're assholes, and they just murder people in Voyager. Just
in the good ship.
Murder in the good ship, right? So, also, Ensign Kim gets fucking space yeeted, and Ensign Weiler gives birth to her daughter. And so, but the daughter dies in the bad ship. So Janeway is like, listen, we're getting taken over. We're gonna blow up our ship. And she's like, get the baby and you go through the hole because you're dead on the other ship. And so he does. And now, the like spatially displaced Ensign Harry Kim is on the ship. It's
with
literally
the spatially displaced baby.
With the hindsight of
Discovery?
No. With the hindsight of Rick and Morty, right? Like rewatching these episodes now with Rick and Morty, it's literally the exact same thing as when Rick accidentally like mutates all the people on Earth, and he's just like, I'll just find a universe where we just like accidentally explode right when this happens. We'll just slide in there, bury our corpses in the fucking yard, because theoretically there is a Harry Kim corpse just floating through space somewhere.
In the same universe that there's an alive Harry Kim.
Yeah. So that happened. That, you know what? It was like the episode went from 0 to literally all of the stakes, a whole ship made out of stakes, so fast that it was just like, all right, man.
They were definitely
sure
stakes.
Yeah, it was too much.
Stakes.
Bring them down to like middle stakes, top stakes. Too many stakes for this episode. So then after that is Innocence, where Tuvok crashes on a planet and he finds some kids, and those kids are afraid that a monster's gonna get them because a monster got some of the other kids, and he's like, that's not how this works, there's no monster in here. And then some of the other kids disappear, and he's like, okay, listen, maybe that's how this works. Yeah. But you guys need to shut up, sit down, calm down, because he's like a Vulcan, and he is fucking clearly furious at these children while he's trying to repair his shuttle.
It was hilarious watching
Dad Tuvok
do Dad.
Is like a very sensible and calm man, except for when like non-Vulcan children are involved.
Yeah.
Or they're not. He's not like talking down to an adult because Vulcans. But he's like calmly trying to do his thing, and these kids are just like blah, 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 blah. These kids are the fucking worst, dude. Just touching shit, just touching sci-fi shit. Like, you know, at one point in time, the boy is chasing the girl around with like a little apparatus, sci-fi apparatus, and he accidentally clicks the trigger, and it's some sort of like fucking confined laser plasma nonsense. Like, dude, don't touch shit. It's so great seeing Tuvok like lose his composure at this shit. It's so fucking good.
And it turns out they're not actually children; they're old people.
They're old people because this planet is Benjamin Button planet. And because of that, or maybe not because of that, it really never explains it. They're also vaguely assholes. So, about outsiders. So this is one of those, like, there's a bunch of drama, and then they like everybody leaves on their own way, and like whatever, everything returns to normal.
Yeah.
But we get to see Dad Tuvok, which is gangster. After this, episode 23, the Thaw, is a fucking nightmare episode. Okay, don't put clowns in Star Trek. Don't put space clowns in Star Trek. Don't put mind power space clowns in Star Trek. Certainly, whatever clown space mind powered anthropomorphized fucking grudge fear monster is in there is very unacceptable. Yeah. This episode, from fucking beginning to end, you're like, oh, this is a regular Star Trek episode, and then they find a planet that's all like blowed up, But like it's starting to recover, and they scan real deep, and they're like, oh, there's a cave with like 4 people on this planet. Like maybe we should wake them up or whatever the fuck. So they go, they just transport the whole wake up apparatus onto their ship, and that just works or whatever. That's always the weirdest part to me.
Yeah,
like, what about power cords? What about whatever? Whatever. Everything's self-contained. Who cares? So then they're like, all right, well, there's like 2 corpses in these pods. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna empty these corpses out. We're gonna put 2 of our friends in there, send them in there, try to wake these people up, which already sounds like a dumb idea. And they go in there, and it's like if Cirque du Soleil had a real bad acid trip.
Yeah,
like
it's
real
like
bad.
If like a French student film about like space Cirque du Soleil happened, the whole thing is horrifying. Like these clowns and like
it's like Jason X and
acrobats
Cirque du Soleil.
It's like these clowns are like undulating around the place, and they're acrobats. Like dancing and being contortionists.
The main clown man.
Like ridiculous outfits, and they have creepy masks, and the whole time they're making these sounds.
Oh, they're just making sounds?
They're just gently making sounds that belong out of the bad guys from Dark Crystal. They're just like...
Yeah, it's a lot. Listen,
no,
it's a lot of weird,
just no
bullshit circus people nonsense. The bad guy, the actor who plays him, fucking brings the thunder. Right, the daytime Emmy goes to this motherfucker.
Yeah,
like he is horrifying. But at no point, like he very rapidly is just like, oh, we're gonna play a game. He's like, well, maybe I'll pull your fucking fingernails off. How do you feel about that shit?
Yeah,
and then he goes back to playing the game, and you're just like, ow, what the fuck was that?
Yeah,
no, dog.
There's like a guillotine thing, and then they have to guillotine.
It's just
and
a
then
man
they have
falling
to
down on you in a
and then they have to like dance until they die. It's absurd.
Whatever.
And
the doctor pulls a fake out because the doctor's the best secret agent of all time.
Yeah.
And they they just kill this guy. They kill this guy with the doctor pretending to be Janeway, delivering just the most dark, fucked up, poignant view where Janeway's just like, I'm not actually in here. I'm just projecting myself in here through the doctor. And like the darkness is like collapsing in on this like fear clown. And she's just like, something that I always thought about fear? You have to control it. Because fear wants... And she's just delivered... Also, Janeway is a fucking badass in like all these episodes. Obviously, Janeway's the fucking best. And she's just like delivering this. And fear itself rendered in this nightmare clown is just like terrified. It's so good. The ending of this episode is fantastic and
it's
honestly
very much
way
like,
over-deserved for an arguably absurd nonsense.
It's very
episode.
much like reading a Clive Cussler short.
It's so crazy.
Yeah.
So,
or not Clive Cussler, Clive Barker.
Yeah.
Wrong Clive Arthur.
Barclay Custleton.
No, Clive Barker.
Barclay Custleton. The series. Maybe this one. The next up was episode 24, Tuvix. Tuvok and Neelix get transported together because of space orchids. And then Kess is like vaguely a bitch.
This one played with my heart.
For a while.
Yeah.
And then Captain Janeway has to pull just the biggest dick move. And not in a bad way. I understand what she's doing, and I agree with what she's doing, but it's this thing where she's just like, Doctor, fucking shut down. You disagree with what I'm doing? Get out of the fucking room. Like, I need my 2 officers back. This is what has to happen. I understand that I'm terminating a life. And it is played off like a reluctant leader killing, a favored civilian or whatever the fuck. I mean, it's played in a very, like, Hamlet classic, like literature way, and Janeway just whole ass murders Tuvix. Like, and I understand that what she was doing was saving the 2 lives of, Tuvok and Neelix's life, and like morally, I agree with what she's doing, but they very clearly, and she does a great job acting this. It's very obvious that this isn't just saving 2 lives. This is terminating a life. Like, this is actively committing murder. And Janeway just fucking stone faces up and just walks into that medical room and just murders this guy. I mean, yeah, he's not screaming and crying and whatnot, but like she murders him. It is intense. This episode is fucking all of the feels. At times you feel bad for Kes. At times you are yelling at the TV about Kes because she is treating Tuvix with some bullshittery. This is a very emotional episode. Fantastic episode. Absolutely fantastic episode. Tuvix. But again, you know, they whatever, they fix it. It's fixed. So then after that is the episode resolutions, where we open to Chakotay and Janeway are infected with a deadly disease that doesn't seem to actually affect them as long as they stay on this planet, but if they're off the planet, it's going to kill them. So they've been abandoned on this planet, and she makes Tuvok the captain, and she's like, alright, like, don't contact the Vidians. They're pieces of shit. That's it, you go. You head home. If I figure it out, like, they give her all the supplies to figure it out herself. She's like, if I figure it out, maybe something happens. So Janeway's trying to figure it out. Tuvok is the captain and is like a little domineering as a captain in like an aggressive way. It's very strange. And the crew is not having it, especially Harry Kim. Harry Kim is like immediately like, hey, B'Elanna, I'm just saying, maybe.
What about mutiny?
Maybe we mutiny? And B'Elanna's like, this is affecting all of us. Like, we're all very sad about this. And he's like, but are you mutiny sad?
She's like, I mean, yeah, I miss Chakotay too. And he's like, but mutiny?
Yeah.
Maybe with other friends?
This episode is like, F plot of this episode is Harry Kim becomes clearly a mutineer. Just that fast. Janeway's out of the picture, mutiny. Don't care. Just save her. But while that's happening on Voyager, on the planet, Janeway is trying to figure out the cure, is becoming friends with a monkey that they're never in the same scene together with, so it was clearly filmed on like a different day in a different place or whatever the heck. And Chakotay is making sand art and carving headboards and trying to get in her pants. A lot. And at first you're like, what's going on with this shit? And then you're like, yeah. I'm gonna root for Chipotle on this one. And then they, like, basically there's like a big lightning storm and Janeway's saved by the monkey and Chakotay, like the monkey warns her or whatever. And Chakotay, like, comes out and saves her and ruins all of her science. Oh, also, they're, like, under the table hugging in the storm. It's adorable. And it ruins all her science equipment, and she's like, I guess maybe, you know, we need to, like, find a way to live life here. And he's like, okay. And so she's like, all right, gangster, I'm gonna go to bed. High five. You know, like the hyper friend zone move. And so she goes to bed and is tossing turning in bed, and Chipotle is sitting there clearly destroyed. And then she gets up and it's just like, all right, we gotta have a conversation about this. And then they decide to go on a river cruise to explore this planet that they're lost on. And while all that love is happening, they actually contacted the bloody
Vidians
who had a cure, no problem. They have to like do some sneaky espionage shit and blow some stuff up to get the cure, but they get the cure, and like Chipotle and Janeway are like moving in for the sexy time, and it's like, Captain, are you there, Captain? And Janeway's like, yes, I'm here. What's going on? And like immediately shuts down. It is heartbreaking. You see Chipotle just die inside.
Yeah.
It's and then they never address it again, which is just fucked up, man.
Yeah.
It's real fucked up. We had two very heavily emotional episodes this run around.
Yeah.
And then the last episode of this season, episode 26, Basics Part 1, is a fucking Seska episode. If you don't know it yet, you're going to. Fucking hate Seska. Just space her. Oh, what, does she have a kid? Space her and the kid. All she does is ruin shit. So whatever. She blackmails Chakotay into trying to get his kid because she says that fucking poophead dude is trying to murder both of them. So of course they'll put the whole ass ship at risk for this. The ship does get taken. Oh, they like find a guy and his blood is made of explosives or some dumb shit like that, but whatever. The ship gets taken over, and the bad guy just leaves them on a. He's like, fuck you and your technology. I'm gonna put you on this world with nothing. I'm taking your comm badges. And the moment Voyager leaves, Janeway's like, you go get water. You go get food. We're gonna go get shelter. We know how to do this, guys. We're trained Starfleet officers. survival's literally one of the things they learn. Like, there was like zero panic. It's fucking great. This guy's a dumbass. There's no way he's gonna make it out of this one, right? So that, you know, the second part of this episode is the beginning of season 3, and we haven't seen that yet. But I've seen it like 8 times, but we haven't seen it yet this run. She's never seen it yet. Yeah. So Seska now has Voyager, and that shit's gone. And, we get like a little glimpse at the end. The Doctor's still on board, so I don't know how that's gonna be helpful. But it will be, he's the best. And the guy who the like murder man who they put in his quarters foreverness, I don't know, whatever. He survived the explosion or something, and so he's in their secret time. So I'm pretty certain that what we're just gonna see is this guy, like, free the beast on the back of a bunch of Kazon's heads, while the Doctor does some, like, nefarious computer stuff and inevitably saves the day. Tom Paris may or may not have made it out alive to go and get the, cat people.
Yeah, we don't know.
But I don't know. They said they blew up the ship, but like I'm remiss to be like, yeah, they just blew up Tom Paris. But I mean, they yeeted fucking Ensign Kim into space like 4 episodes ago.
Only to grab another one from a different dimension.
I mean, it's Voyager.
Yeah.
Enough said. But either way, those were the episodes of Voyager we watched. I've been John Nordgrove. This is Wife. This is Star Trek Thursday. We watched episodes 19 through 26 of Star Trek Voyager Season 2. It was dope. Don't forget to like this video, comment below, share, subscribe, do all that kind of stuff.
Which of these episodes did you like best?
What's your favorite?
I like Little House on the Prairie, Janeway, and Chakotay. Also, in the heat of the moment, when I'm screaming at the TV for them to kiss, I started calling him Chipotle.
And that's now what we call him. He's officially Chipotle.
Yeah, we just half the time call him Chakotay and half the time call him Chipotle. It's just a thing that happens.
Yeah. So be okay with that shit, I guess.
Hashtag Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah, hashtag Little House on the Prairie. Hashtag
Voyager.
Secret Voyager Love.
Yeah.
But, don't forget to ring the bell so you get notifications when we do this. If you would like, you can support us on Patreon. We have that. We do that now. And don't forget to listen to our podcast. It's gangster.
Yeah.
But, we'll catch you guys on the flip side. And, there's something coming tomorrow, I guess. We'll see.
Probably.